northwestcalifornia.com. So tell me about some of the services that you offer.
Absolutely. So we do quite a little bit of different things. Our main program is our one-on-one tutoring program. And what this is personalized, customized curriculum for each student. And, we're based program. So we really specialize. Our point of view really focuses on encouraging and challenging students in the areas of writing, critical thinking, reading, literature, and communication. And so for our one-on-one tutoring, we do anywhere from 1 to 2 hours a week. We meet students in person in the South Bay or online anywhere around the Bay Area. And our goal really is just to get, this area, Silicon Valley, all the kids are interested in STEM. They want to do math. They want to do computer science. And it's rare for students to be as interested in writing, in English, creative writing, the humanities, and history. But we believe these are really, really necessary skills, especially in college, where writing, research, and interpretation is so important. And so we really encourage students in these areas and help them express themselves more effectively.
I think that's great. I love the term that I've been hearing around a lot lately. We always hear STEM in this area, but I've also been hearing the term STEAM, where the A stands for arts, and I like that so much.
I love that too. And a big part of our program too is appreciation for the arts, whether that be literature, painting. We actually every year we do with our students, we do local cultural events. So I'll take students to local museums, or we'll go to performances or a theater. And, for us, it's really important for kids to understand their place in their culture, in their community. And so that's a huge part, too. I mean, arts, writing, literature, these kinds of things for us are what we focus on when we're prepping students, especially, for the college application process, because that's a lot about, proving your skills in writing and showing that you're a well-rounded person. So we really want to fill in those gaps.
That's great. So you do field trips. I don't know what it's like now, but it used to be that the schools would take you on field trips, and you could get, broaden your education that way. I don't know the state of that right now, how that works or anything, but it's great that you offer that as one of your services, basically a field trip experience.
It's really fun. Just recently we went to the Van Gogh art exhibition that was happening in downtown San Jose. And that was really fun because I know students really love Van Gogh, but this was just a total interactive experience in any way that we can get students kind of like away from their computers, away from their video games, and get them to explore this area that they may not be so interested in at first. That's really exciting to us because it helps people understand, ask questions about who they are, and reflect on their experience as a human. And that's why we love to teach the humanities.
I see. I've got a question coming through the inbox from a listener, and the listener wants to know if there is an age limit. So what range of ages or grades do you work with?
Yeah, so at the moment, since we've been able to evolve over these past few years, and we have about 5 tutors right now, we do K through 12. So we have an elementary school program, we have a middle school program, and we have a high school program. And so when we do the one-on-one tutoring, we offer a free first lesson, free consultation. We really like to create relationships with the families. And of course, everything is based on that student's needs.
Okay. I got another question coming here for you. Do you work with remedial students?
Remedial students?
Like, I don't...
I'm going to, I'm not sure what remedial means, but what we do teach is literacy, especially for younger students. We know that the Bay Area, a lot of parents have come here from other countries, and often at home, home they speak their native language. And so literacy is a big deal in those younger ages, elementary school and middle school. So we do focus a lot on teaching literacy. Although, I will say we do not have a math or science program. So that's one area we may build in the future, but we just like to focus on what we do best.
Okay, well, dear listener, I hope that answers your question, because I wasn't really sure about that either. I'm like, and again, you can reach out to Linnea. She's at questcalifornia.com. So that's questcalifornia.com. Okay, fantastic. So you work with all grades. Well, did we say K? Yeah, K through high school. So K through 12, and you just provide these extra experiences. Also, you have help with the application process for high school seniors who are trying to get into colleges.
Yes, and it's great that you said high school seniors, because for us, we really like to help students a little bit earlier. Applications are due at the usually around November or January of their senior year, and so we like to help families prepare ahead of time, typically in students' junior year. And we do all kinds of help with college prep, from essays to test prep to helping families choose the right colleges and helping students figure out what kind of majors they might be interested in.
Okay. So that sounds fantastic. How about summer experiences, summer school classes, etc.? What about that?
Oh, that's one of my favorite parts. So I really like to do group classes over the summer, because I just like the idea of getting kids together and being outside. Our big kind of cornerstone classes that are outdoor classes. So we do outdoor public speaking, outdoor book clubs, creative writing, and we also do a lot of online classes, writing classes, and college essay workshop classes. And so for the outdoor classes, we choose a park near somewhere around San Jose, in a kind of centralized location, and the students just love it.
Okay, sounds great. I do want to just double back for a second here. Thank you, dear listener, who clarified the question about remedial. She says that her child is a bit behind and would need maybe some supportive work or some remedy work to their skills before going fully into college prep mode, quote unquote. So that is what was being asked there. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was thinking remedial might have to do with maybe they're behind in literacy, which is a huge factor that's going to affect every class that you take. So what we do, a lot of us are really trained in language. Our tutors are focused on how language works. And so that's why we, especially with our younger students and our middle school students, a lot of students do move here from out of the country. And we do have curriculum and personalized lesson plans to help students who are behind get that access to language that they need in order to be better writers, in order to be better communicators, to step out of their shells. So yes, we definitely do help those areas.
Okay. One thing that I found really exciting when I was looking through your website is I was like, yes, this is good. You have weekly critical thinking classes. I thought, wow, that is good, because sometimes you listen to the news, you see the headlines, and you go, do they not still teach critical thinking in school? What's going on? What's happening? And so when I saw that that's something that you do, I said, hey, that sounds great to me. Please tell us more about that.
Yeah, so critical thinking is kind of a buzzword, I guess, around the education world. But what it really means is that you're teaching college-style thinking to students that aren't in college yet. And that's really important to me. College was the best experience I've ever had because it opened my mind to different ways of thinking. And I just keep thinking, I wish I had that earlier. I wish I had that in middle school. I wish I had that in high school. So what we do is we really take these kind of sophisticated, more rigorous ways of approaching argumentation, ways of approaching reading, ways of approaching discussion that will help students engage with current events, engage with the literature, the art, and the culture of our time and of the past, and to kind of get them to see where their place is in the world as citizens, as conscientious, soon-to-be voters. And so we really do emphasize kind of like getting kids to understand their place in the larger world, and critical thinking classes really expose them to things that they might not be exposed to.
Fantastic. That sounds great. And so there's mentorship, and there's critical thinking, there's field trips, cultural experiences, one-on-one tutoring. So a lot of services that you offer there. Yes,
and I'm not alone. I have a really, really beautiful group of tutors that are all, either graduate students in English, language, writing, child development, education, and our goal really is to build a close relationship with the students and the families.
Fantastic. Now, Linnea, I'm going to ask you a little bit about your mission. How did you get started with this, and what is your goal? What is your mission?
Oh, I love these questions so much. Our mission, as I stated before, is really to get students excited about the humanities. And this includes, being better readers, being better thinkers, being more open and tolerant to other people's point of views. And so our mission is to guide students towards self-discovery and inspired learning in the liberal arts and the humanities, as well as cultural awareness. And that's why we have these kind of different programs to get students a more well-rounded introduction into the world of what it means to be a human. And I studied literature in college as an undergrad, and my teachers and mentors, they inspired me so much to think more deeply about what my role is on Earth, and who we are as humans, and what is the meaning of life. These are the questions I love to pose to my students, and to get them to write about it and think more deeply. And at the moment, I'm getting a master's degree as well in literature. So I just really love to pass these kinds of skills of interpreting, getting an understanding of how humans work together, how our social, political, historical, economic, all of these things work together to help us function in society. And so I'm really inspired by being a student, continuing to be a student, and then passing on to my students what I learn.
I see. So when did you actually start the business? You are the founder of Quest California College Prep. When did you actually start the business then?
Yeah, so I started this about 3 years ago. Before that, I was a teacher for group classes. I was teaching middle school English in Cupertino, and I loved it so much. I was teaching writing and literature, but I noticed that I really loved the one-on-one. And so when I got a little bit of experience with tutoring, I said, this is where it's at. And I wanted to start my own business where I could focus entirely on what I thought kids were kind of missing. I was, always collecting data about, well, why are these kids not understanding how to read these very important texts? Why is writing such a difficulty for students? Why are people behind in literacy? And so I saw all these kind of empty gaps, and I wanted to offer something. But I'm also a very passionate person, and I just like the idea of modeling for students what passion looks like when it comes to writing and expressing yourself and engaging with the world.
Okay. Now, what was it like starting the business from scratch? What were some of the challenges, or some of the obstacles, some of the joys of starting your business from scratch like that?
Yeah, I think, for me, I kind of fell into it because I was doing tutoring and teaching already. And then I started by word of mouth. Parents kind of just said, hey, have you heard about this tutor? She's she's doing some really interesting things with writing and getting kids to engage with literature and history. And so it kind of just blew up from there. And my struggle, of course, is, with the education world, teachers, I think, are kind of undervalued. So it is really hard to do it full time. So that has been the biggest challenge, is like helping my tutors who I hire to make this a legitimate practice. Because I think people think of tutors as like, oh, you're just helping that kid with their homework. It must be so easy. But actually, we create all of our own curriculum, and we just teach one-on-one. And we do help with homework. We help with essays and AP classes. But it's my biggest challenge is trying to get tutoring not to seem like some kind of size thing, but to really bring it that kind of respect and dignity.
Well, I think you're being really kind in your comments about that, because, yeah, I've got teachers in my family too, and I just feel like teachers are just not only undervalued, they're not respected really for the important task that they have, the real big job that they have. Is just me talking. Please remember, views and opinions expressed on this program, not necessarily those of the station or its staff. But in my point of view, I think that we could do as a society a much better job of valuing teachers and the work that they do, and along with teachers, tutors as well. Because it's not just like you're doing just some, fun little extra thing, side thing. A tutor is a very important position.
Yes, absolutely. And we like to kind of frame it as, we're mentors. We are here for kind of the students' overall well-rounded, holistic education. And so we really want to be a big part of the student's life. And we also want to make things challenging, and we want to make them prepared. And so it really does require, that we're in communication with the families about the students' progress, assessing their work. And so we do want to, give this form of, of teaching just a kind of reinvigoration. And I just love the one-on-one. And of course, we offer affordable lessons too, and we like to work with families in terms of payment.
I see. Okay. So that's a lot of work to do. So that sounds like you must have, at least one or two other people, maybe more. How many people do you have on staff at this point?
Well, I'm the only staff member technically. I have 4 other tutors, and they're amazing, and we always meet each week to discuss, what are we doing with the students? What do our lesson plans look like? How can we be more engaging with the students? And so we're always building each other as a group. But yeah, it's a lot of administrative work, but I really enjoy it a lot, and I just think of all my students are kind of like my best friends. I think I see them more than my real friends. So to me, it's just a huge joy, and I do hope to grow. I actually would love to hire more tutors. So if anybody's out there and interested in working for Quest, I'd love to talk to you.
When did it come to the point where you had to get your first hire, your first staff person, or your first tutor? When did it become too much for you? Like, basically, when did you start succeeding? Because if you're getting more and more, that means you have to hire people. And so that means, So when did it become something where you said, okay, wait a minute, I can't do this all myself? How far into it were you?
I was about a year into it, and the word of mouth just kept growing and growing. I really didn't do much advertising. I don't even think I had a website at that point. And, when I was thinking, I'm getting more inquiries than I can teach. And it was really sad for me, too, because I'm like, no one else can teach like me. I can't hire anybody else. And then I started to realize, actually, there's probably better teachers out there than me, and I need to trust in people, and I can also train people. And so I started to hire tutors, and I really like to hire graduate students that are kind of, they're in the thick of the field of English and writing and the humanities, and they want to explore what teaching is all about. And so it was about a year ago, I hired my first tutor, and it was just bliss from there. So we were really able to start taking on all these new inquiries. We even started partnering up with a school in downtown San Jose called Rocket Ship Mosaic to offer affordable tutoring to students from low-income families. And so I just kept, growing and growing. But I think the sky's the limit here.
Tell me about, is it called Rocket Ship?
Mm-hmm. Rocket Ship Mosaic Elementary.
All right, so it's an actual school, and so you have a partnership going on with them. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of the students, they do come from families where parents don't speak English at home. And so they are really behind in literacy. They're behind in reading, writing, English, grammar, vocabulary. And so we've been partnering with them to offer them discounted lessons. And it's been really incredible to help out San Jose and to show that we're all a community and we're really we really are local. So we want to kind of keep it as a Bay Area experience.
I see. I really like how it seems like it all happened pretty organically for you. It just kind of, the business sort of grew up around you, and the universe kind of said, knock, knock. Here's your business.
Yeah, exactly. I think also for me, I was just really, passionate, and I think the parents could see that. And so when I talk with parents, or when I have, a tutoring session with a student, often the student goes to their parents and they're like, "Whoa, that girl was cool. She's not like your regular English teacher." And I just really, for me, creating a relationship, having fun, having education be exciting and interesting. I think the parents really were able to pick up on that vibe, and so they were able to do most of the advertising for me. But for me, it's really about creating programs, and I spend a lot of time figuring out what's the best kind of way to teach, what's the best curriculum, what's the best way to get kids out of their shell. And so I spend a lot of time doing that, and so the behind the scenes does include that, but for me, it's also just so much fun.
Okay, sounds good. So I wanted to know what you think about when college prep should begin. When should it start?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So you definitely don't want to wait until the last minute. Like I said, applications are due typically in November or in December and January of a student's senior year. And if you are doing test prep, writing all your essays, figuring out which college to go to, scrambling to take that last AP class that will show up on your application, it's all a lot. So we really encourage families to start at least a year in advance, start thinking about what college is, thinking about taking college visits, which gets kids very inspired, makes them, gets them to start feeling that independence. And so doing that at the beginning of your junior year, going on college visits, even making sure students are joining clubs, being a part of their community, volunteering, those things can happen even earlier than your junior year, because colleges are looking for sustained activity, not just, for your senior year you did one volunteering experience, but colleges are looking for well-rounded, not just GPA, not just test scores. So that's a really big point for me. And then for essays and test prep, I really think essays should be started about 6 months before the application's due, and test prep should really be about 6 months before they take the test.
Okay, all right. Now, what about some ways that parents can support their children's academic goals and development?
I
mean, that's a huge question.
Absolutely. I mean, again, we're a humanities-based program, so we really want parents to see, where is your kid's skill in writing and expressing themselves? Where is that at? If you find that your student is having trouble with social skills, or your student is having trouble writing, or they're not getting good grades in English or history classes where writing is really important, we really suggest that parents just take a look and assess where their child's at, because writing is not a skill that's only important for English. And this is the most transferable skill. So if you're going into math, if you're going into science, if you're going into any field, writing is critical. And so that's why we really emphasize that, and just ask parents to be aware of where their kid's at, and to get mentors if they need it.
Fantastic. I've enjoyed our conversation so much. I just really think that this is a great service that you have here, and you have a great personality. So we're having fun. And
I love it.
And I'm wanting you to give your website again.
Yes, absolutely. So you can find me at www.questcalifornia.com.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for being on today. I appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.
Well, it was such a pleasure. Thank you so much. I really, really am grateful for the opportunity.
Okay, so we're saying thank you and goodbye to Linnea Fleming. She is the founder of QuestCalifornia.com, a college prep service that also has a lot of other services connected to it. And I'm ready to go on a field trip now myself. I want to go on an art experience. I'm looking at this website. I'm like, this looks fun. But anyway.
Hey, I'll put you on our Excel list.
Okay, thank you so much. She services folks K through 12. But anyway, thanks again and enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Ciao for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.